Okay, that's not me. Hold on. Ooh. Okay, my voice isn't coming out of the broadcast, right? You'll have to wait and see. But I think I got it, so it's not going to. Oh. Hold on. I got this. I was like, I went to go do that, and then I got distracted by trying to make sure the mic was muted. No, it's good for. Oh, I know who single mom who works two jobs was. It was about Addison. Yeah, it was a shepherd thing. That one was pretty good.
What are these even doing here? This is bad.
Okay, I'm talking. Yeah, yeah, it does say the mic's muted, so. Oh, well, I kind of fucked around a little bit with it. Is the stuff I'm saying now is coming through? Fuck.
More carts and dead bodies. That's not good.
Ship 2, Frederick of Seralt. Who in Andraste's name would be out in this desert? Aside from us.
What happened here?
Nobody should be out here but Grey Wardens. Something's very wrong.
Chantry symbol out here. Odd.
Nothing to report, sir.
Visitors? Thank the Maker. It's been so long since I've spoken to anyone. Have you come to observe the wildlife too?
I think I found your supplies. A dead man out in the desert had these on him.
Dead? Blessed Andraste. What about Marcus or Jeannette? This is terrible news. I am Frédéric of Serrault, foremost researcher of draconology in Orlais. I came here with an expedition from the university. But the others are all missing, and our work has been halted. White Claw raiders have made off with much of our supplies. You will help me reclaim the equipment, will you not? You will champion the advancement of science.
You're a scholar? What can you tell me about this region?
The Western Approach is a remarkable place, as you are no doubt aware. Many magnificent creatures make their home here. Varghests, dragons, phoenixes. They thrive where few others can. The land was poisoned by the Second Blight. The Warden Fortress has stood since that time. Before the Blight, the ancient Imperium ruled here. Actually, I saw some Tevinters recently. Studying the runes, perhaps.
The rest of your team went missing, and there are raiders all over the area. Should you be here alone?
I don't know what happened to the rest of the expedition, but the raiders have left me completely undisturbed. I have also seen Grey Wardens and strangers in odd black clothing, but they all ignore my presence completely.
Tell me about yourself.
I am a professor at the University of Orlais. I have made it my life's work to write the definitive monograph on the hunting habits of dragons and their closest kin. On this trip alone, I have produced 20 scrolls of notes. More scholarship than has ever been done on the Southern Varghest. But my hope, my great ambition, is to observe the abyssal high dragon taking her prey. A sight no scholar has ever recorded.
I have the supplies you were waiting for right here.
Some of our equipment is still missing. If you happen to find more of it, please let me know.
We'll have to speak some other time.
Anybody else think it's weird that the bandits are leaving Frederick alone?
Who did all this? Grey Wardens. The name on the manifest is Frederick of Seralt. Didn't we meet him?
Of course, Duran's theory of High Dragon behavior is absurd, but... Oh, yes? Did you need something?
I have the supplies you were waiting for right here.
Now that I have my recipes back, I'll be able to concoct a bait the High Dragon cannot resist. I have most of what I need, but I still need to gather quillback intestines and a phoenix's tail feather.
You study dragons. I'd be interested in hearing more about that.
Oh, they are fascinating and little understood creatures, thought extinct for centuries. Now they seem to be making a comeback. The Nevarrans wrote extensively on breeding and nesting behavior, but High Dragon hunting patterns have never been studied. I would be most interested if you come across any Gurn corpses that might be victims of dragon attacks.
We'll have to speak some other time.
Shall we have a look around?
Good find. I once met a dwarf who made the best homebrewed ale.
I once met a Grey Warden who got possessed by a spirit and then blew up a chantry and killed 100. People. What makes people think you want to hear what others of your kind have done, anyway?
My dear, you're going to smell of carrion for hours.
We have to turn back.
Someone at Skyhold will have a solution.
Glad you could make it. We've seen lights coming from the tower.
Blood magic, I'd wager. You can smell it. Or see the corpses. You take point. I'll guard your backs.
Wait! No.
Warden Commander Clarel's orders were clear.
This is wrong!
Remember your oath. In war, victory. In peace, vigilance. In death,
I'm sorry.
sacrifice. Good. Now bind it just as I showed you. Inquisitor, what an unexpected pleasure. Lord Livius Erimond of Virantium, at your service.
I'm guessing you're not a warden?
But you are. The one Clarel let slip. And you found the Inquisitor and came to stop me. Shall we see how that goes?
Wardens! This man is lying to you. He serves an ancient of Intermagister who wants to unleash a blight.
That's a very serious accusation. Let's see what the Wardens think. Wardens, hands up. Hands down.
Corypheus has enslaved them.
They did this to themselves. You see, the calling had the Wardens terrified. They looked everywhere for help.
Including Tevinter.
Yes, and since it was my master who put the calling into their little heads, we in the Venatori were prepared. I went to Clarel full of sympathy, and together we came up with a plan. Raise a demon army, march into the deep roads, and kill the old gods before they wake.
Corypheus marching across Orlais with an army of demons. That was in the future I saw at Redcliffe.
And now you know how it begins. Sadly for the Wardens, the binding ritual I taught their mages has a side effect. They're now my master's slaves. This was a test. Once the rest of the Wardens complete the ritual, the army will conquer Thedas.
So Corypheus influenced the Wardens and made them do this ritual.
Made them? No! Everything you see here, the blood sacrifices to bind the demons, the Wardens did it of their own free will. Fear is a very good motivator, and they were very afraid.
That's a lie. The Grey Wardens are heroes. They would never do this willingly.
The Grey Wardens care about nothing save stopping blights. They will do anything to accomplish that. You should have seen Clarel agonize over the decision. Burdens of command, I suppose.
Why would the Wardens try to kill the old gods?
A blight happens when Darkspawn find an old god and corrupt it into an archdemon. If someone fought through the deep roads and killed the old gods before they could be corrupted... Woof! No more blights, ever. The Wardens sacrificed their lives and saved the world. Although I fear history will remember them a little differently now.
Why would Clarel risk using demons?
Demons need no food, no rest, no healing. Once bound, they will never retreat, never question orders. They are the perfect army to fight through the deep roads. Or across Orlais. Now they are bound to my master.
Do you really want to see the world fall to the Blight? What do you get out of this?
The Elder One commands the Blight. He is not commanded by it, like the mindless Darkspawn. The Blight is not unstoppable or uncontrollable. It is simply a tool.
Somebody's certainly a tool.
As for me, while the Elder One rules from the Golden City, we, the Venatori, will be his god kings here in the world.
Release the Wardens from the binding and surrender. I won't ask twice.
No, you won't. The Elder One showed me how to deal with you, in the event you were foolish enough to interfere again. That mark you bear, the anchor that lets you pass safely through the Veil, you stole that from my master. He's been forced to seek other ways to access the Fade. When I bring him your head, his gratitude will be... Ah! Kill them!
So, that went well.
You were right. Thanks to the ritual, the Warden mages are enslaved to Corypheus.
And the Warden warriors? Oh, of course. It's not real blood magic until someone gets sacrificed.
Eramond lied to the Wardens. They were trying to prevent future blights.
With blood magic and human sacrifice.
Hawk, they made a mistake, but they thought it was necessary.
All blood mages do. Everyone has a story they tell themselves to justify bad decisions. And it never matters. In the end, you are always alone with your actions.
I may know where the Wardens are. Eramond fled that way. There's an abandoned Warden fortress in that direction. Adamant.
Good thinking.
The Warden and I will scout out Adamant and confirm that the other Wardens are there. We'll meet you back at Skyhold.
Shall we knock?
It will be my pleasure.
Venatori! Meet them! Prepare them! In life and in death!
How long can they keep this up?
Here, Inquisitor! I am ready to serve! Life is nothing! He will reign!
Master, I join your glory.
Well, Inquisitor, you want your very own fort in the middle of nowhere?
It has water and a good tactical location. Inquisitor, you're early. We've barely been set up a week. I have a patrol out at the moment. Some of the men cited Darkspawn in the area. I have reports that bandits have taken up squatting in the fortress the Wardens abandoned. We're reasonably well entrenched here, but the keep's water supply has been problematic. It's causing delays. I'll prepare the troops for inspection at once.
What's wrong with the water supply?
The fort's well is full of garbage. Blasted Venatori threw corpses in there. There's an oasis nearby, but a Varghest claimed it. Doing a decent job of keeping us away, too. 4 soldiers have already fallen to venom and claws. We'll need reinforcements to drive the monster out.
Report. What's the situation in the Warden's fortress?
Bandits moved in. Worse than Quillbacks, if you ask me. They're holed up in there, and using it as a base to strike at our supply caravans. Blasted scavengers.
What can you tell me about the Darkspawn in the area?
The Darkspawn seem to have emerged since we took the keep. I've warned the troops not to engage unless absolutely necessary. We don't need a blight in the ranks. We have to find whatever hole the monsters came from and seal it.
We haven't met, have we? What's your name, soldier? Where have you served?
I beg your pardon, Inquisitor. Knight Captain Rylan at your service. I served with the Templars in Starkhaven until they all ran off to the hills, barking at the moon. Commander Cullen offered me a job, and I was glad to do anything to help stop all this madness.
What are your duties here, Captain?
I am Commander Cullen's second-in-command. As such, I handle logistics for many of our more high-risk missions. I also coordinate reports for the Commander from agents out in the field.
You didn't want to leave the Chantry with the others of your order?
Sacred duties are all well and good, but someone needs to do real work now and then. If the barracks are on fire, I'm going for water, not standing around smiting the ash for heresy. Ah, respectfully speaking, of course, Inquisitor.
If you were in Starkhaven, how do you know Cullen?
After Kirkwall exploded, Starkhaven sent aid. Rubble fell on much of the city. A lot of people were homeless or trapped in collapsed buildings. I coordinated rescue efforts, and met Cullen while he was trying to command what was left of Kirkwall's Templars.
How is the Inquisition treating you so far, Captain?
It's good work. Some of it's a touch batty, but I'm always glad to be doing something useful, Inquisitor. There's no shortage of things that need repaired, shored up, or just a good bucket of water dumped on them.
Carry on, Captain.
Yes, Inquisitor.
By the time I'm done with you recruits, every one of you pathetic nug babies will be ready to face a high dragon.
Inquisitor. Inquisitor.
Report, Captain. What's the situation in the Western Approach?
Compared to what you must have seen in the Winter Palace, this place is calm. All we've got are man-eating giant lizards, lunatics, monsters, and a giant hole full of darkspawn. At least nobody's asked us to dance with them.
Carry on, Captain.
Yes, Inquisitor.
By the time I'm done with you recruits, every one of you pathetic nug babies will be ready to face a high dragon.
You'll find this far out.
I need elf root and embryo. As much as you've got.
We have to turn back. The Darkspawn got through. I'll have to see what our people at Skyhold can do.
Done and done.
They come from?
We should find out. This is exactly what the Wardens are supposed to prevent.
Inquisitor.
Worry about.
Sarah.
Of course, Duran's theory of High Dragon behavior is absurd, but... Oh. Yes? Did you need something?
I've spotted several dragon signs around the approach.
Most excellent, my friend. I don't suppose you noted the wound pattern? No matter, I'll look into that later. Andraste's mercy. From what I can tell, the dragon has been moving east and will be scouring the wastes next. Naturally, the dragon's hunting ground is full of miscreants, White Claw raiders. They've covered the area in traps for Maker only knows reasons. Quite a mess.
We'll have to speak some other time.
Is there anything you need?
Do you have any advice for me?
Nothing I can think of. No.
That's enough for now.
Another time, then.
Pleasure as always, boss.
See you later, Bull.
Nice talking with you, boss.
But she was so fast and quick with her bow. No one quite knew where she came from. Sarah was never quite the quietest girl. Her attacks are loud and they're joyful, but she knew those.
So we're attacking wardens now. That's pissing great.
She would always like to say, why change the past when you could understay?
Are things playing out the way you expected?
Cassandra laid it out, right? You're the big hat. Praying's nice, I suppose. Corypheus bit, though. Height.
I'll be back if I need you.
Go on.
To keep her away, a rogue and a thief, and she'll tempt your fate. Sarah was never quite the wealthiest girl. Some say she lives in a town.
She's still behind the curtains in the reading room, watching the blood pool on the floor.
I'll talk to you later.
Probably.
Her eyes were sharp like a razor, but she knew
I can't stand this. How many Grey Wardens died here, and for what? Eramond and the Wardens are definitely holed up at Adamant Fortress, by the way. Don't know if Hawke told you.
How could the Wardens willingly sacrifice their own to summon demons?
I know it sounds nutty. Being a Warden makes us special. But it comes with a heavy price. You have to walk away from your old life, and be prepared to do anything to stop the next Blight. And we are the only ones who can. The only ones willing to make the decisions, sacrifices. To do that, oh, you wouldn't understand. Or, well, with that mark on your hand, maybe you would.
We'll talk later.
First the Templars, now the Grey Wardens. Both devoted their lives to fighting evil. Now they serve it.
If I was possessed by a demon, would you?
I would rather not consider it.
May I ask you something?
Of course.
Do you think Templars should cease to exist?
No. I may have chosen to leave that life, but I respect those who remain. Magic ungoverned could tear the world apart. It's doing so now. Templars are trained and able to confront such dangers.
What would you suggest?
Some call the Circle a prison that can only breed resentment. Perhaps opportunities to work outside the Circle. A mixed military service or healers' clinics with Templar support. And there must be a safer way for Templars to leave. Templars can lose their memories to Lyrium. Some call it a gift, to forget the failed Harrowings, the demons. Some atrocities haunt me still. But to lose what good I can recall, I nearly lost my mind once. It is no gift.
I like the sound of that.
I'm not sure it's the answer, but something needs to change.
You still regret the man you became after leaving Ferelden?
After the Ferelden Circle, I thought all mages were like the ones there. Knight Commander Meredith's methods were harsh, but they kept people safe.
You've said Meredith was unstable.
She was my Knight Commander. I had no reason to distrust her. She wasn't wrong about the Blood Mages in Kirkwall. Meredith encouraged my anger towards the mages. There was only so far I would go, and she knew that too. I was her second in command. She kept decisions from me, those I would question. I believed she was serving the city. I never thought to question her, not until it was too late.
I hope you find the Inquisition's leadership more agreeable.
I am confident you will see us through to the end. The Inquisition is my chance to atone. I will not see it fail.
The Inquisition won't last forever. What will you do when this is over?
To be honest, I hadn't given it much thought until recently. I'm not used to having so many possibilities.
You've mentioned siblings. With everything that's happening, do you know if they're all right?
I've received word from my eldest sister. She was always good at tracking me down. South Reach has experienced the same chaos as everywhere else. My family is fine. Pray they remain so.
Your sister tracked you down. She didn't know where you were.
I let her know I was in Haven. She assumed I survived. It's not the first time. I may have neglected to tell her when I was transferred to Kirkwall.
Why?
I wasn't in a good state. I wanted only to leave. I received an angry letter about my disappearance 2 years later. For all her reprimands, it was a relief to hear from someone who knew me before the Blight.
That's all I wanted to know.
I'm sure you have other matters to attend. I'd be perfectly happy never again setting foot in the Winter Palace. It wasn't the gossip and backstabbing, I know what the game entails, but the indifference to it all.
I didn't care for it myself.
I shouldn't be surprised. The Chantry can be the same. Their politics are less extravagant, but just as heated. The Empress rules a country. The Divine influences half a continent.
May I ask you something?
Of course.
If you don't mind my asking, the hero of Ferelden was a Circle mage. Did you know him?
I attended his harrowing, actually. He was a talented mage. Considering he brought an end to the Blight, that goes without saying.
That's all I wanted to know.
Another time, then.
We need to head to Adamant Fortress as soon as possible. If there's a chance we can stop Corypheus from destroying the Wardens, we can't let it slip away.
What do you think we'll uncover in Adamant?
Nothing good. Hearing the Warden's plan was bad enough. Now we'll see it firsthand. Best case, we find a nightmare. Worst, we'll find a nightmare, then die painfully. I still can't believe what they're doing. I thought I understood the Order.
Nothing right now. Perhaps in a bit.
Your worship.
Grand, isn't it? To know the sanctity of our great institutions.
We must stop the Wardens from carrying out this insane plan, Inquisitor. To seek out these old gods deliberately in some bizarre attempt to preempt the Blight.
I wouldn't mind never having another Blight. Corypheus interfering is the real problem.
The Blight is the real problem.
And the Wardens are trying to end the Blight forever.
Yes. Would it have worked? Do you know? Did they? The fools who first unleashed the Blight upon this world thought they were unlocking ultimate power. Forgive me. The entire idea is unnerving.
You seem very interested in my opinions.
I need to talk to you.
Could at least bring me wine. Loosens the tongue, so to speak.
Let's do something interesting.
More interesting than wandering the countryside killing random strangers? Perish the thought. This castle of yours isn't exactly filled with diversions, but we can figure something out.
I expected ruins.
They were. As you see, the Inquisition has not been idle.
Would it be possible to meet the Herald before we return to Ghislaine?
My dear Laurent, for you, anything. Allow me to present Inquisitor Llewellyn.
Your worship, you do us great honor.
Inquisitor, this is my dear Bastien's sister, Grand Cleric Marceline, and his son, Duke Laurent of the Council of Heralds.
Madame de Fer has told us what great trials you faced, trying to save my poor brother's life.
The Maker called my father to his side. It was valiant of you to champion him in his final hours.
All I did was kill a wyvern.
Well, truly you are too humble, Inquisitor. My family is deeply grateful for your efforts.
Would you mind waiting for me in the chapel, my dears? The Inquisitor and I have business to discuss.
It has been our very great pleasure, Herald.
This has been quite the triumph, hasn't it? They just adore you.
Duke Bastien's family seem quite pleasant.
Ordinarily, I would have warned you that Marceline has the temper of a hungry vulture, but she's quite taken with you. Laurent is a dear, almost as pious as his aunt, and new to a seat of great power in the Empire. And Marceline is one of the strongest voices among the Grand Clerics. Now they will both come to us for advice. The Inquisition is truly a power now, and there's no telling how far its influence will reach. But enough of this talk. Here, I have something for you. I commissioned this ring from the Formari, the greatest enchanters in all Thedas, for you.
And what comes attached to this ring, may I ask?
The friendship of all the Circle, should you need it. Once it was customary for the Circles to craft enchantments for their staunchest friends and allies. And you have been both. I must go to see my guests now. Another time, darling.
So Varric knew where the champion was all along. That's the last time we sent Cassandra to interrogate.
Anything I should know?
Our agent stationed near Adamant reports strange sounds. Curious lights around the fortress. At least 2 scouts have gone missing. We must make our move, and quickly.
I'll leave you to your work.
A pleasure.
What do the people make of us?
There's scarcely a noble house that hasn't openly pledged its support to us.
Any visiting dignitaries I should watch out for?
You've already met Grand Cleric Marceline. Lady Vivienne helped arrange the visit. The timing is most curious.
Why?
Word has circulated that Grand Cleric Marceline will be instrumental in choosing our next divine. What are Lady Vivienne's intentions, I wonder?
I tracked that Venatori mage back to Adamant Fortress. They're looking at assault options now in the war room.
Thanks for coming.
You did well, Varric. The Inquisitor is just who we need.
It's been great. Murderous wardens, archdemon attacks, plenty of blood mages and crazy Templars. Just like home.
I know how much you hated leaving Kirkwall.
This is the ass end of Thedas. You know they eat snails here? Still, I think I need to finish this out. If it weren't for me and Bartrand, none of this would have happened. So much for changing our lives.
That's what happens when you try to change things. Things change. You can't always control how. I tracked the Wardens to Adamant Fortress, Inquisitor. Your specialists have my full report. Your specialists are waiting inside. I believe they're discussing how to take Adamant.
You seem to enjoy yourself at the Winter Palace, Leliana. Or was that part of the game?
Perhaps it was both. It was interesting to see how much has changed in Halam Shiral. And so little. Madame Méprise is a fixture. The sun will grow cold before she retires. Let's see what we have.
Your worship.
So that's his little boy?
His name is Kieran.
Kieran. Nice name. I think he would have approved.
I would have preferred to ask his opinion on the matter. It did not have to end as it did.
At least you have Kieran.
I could have had them both.
Your worship.
What can I do for you, your inquisitorialness?
I've read your Tale of the...
That's a pretty common reaction.
Carry on.
My dear, did you need me for something?
Your lost books have been found.
My dear, you are a treasure.
Wandering the gardens, I see.
What work have you been doing to help us?
Currently, my efforts are focused on determining what Corypheus is, and from where his power comes. The elven orb he carries is what draws my attention. I wonder if the power he used to tear open the Fade, in fact, came from the orb. Perhaps it is even the source of your anchor. If I learn of its origin, I may also learn what Corypheus now intends, as well as his weaknesses.
I could use your company for my excursions outside Skyhold.
I have spent my share of time wandering the wilderness in the company of others, Inquisitor. Thank you for the invitation, but for now I will restrict my efforts to researching the arcane.
Do you know anything about his dragon?
It has the appearance of an archdemon. Of that, I am certain. A true archdemon, however, is supposedly the corrupted form of an old god. Has Corypheus actually dug up one of the ancient prisons? If so, why has a new blight not begun? His dragon is something else, something connected to his blighted nature as well as his magic. Beyond that, I cannot say.
Is it even possible that Corypheus could succeed?
The Black City exists. Wherever one goes in the Fade, it is visible in the sky. The last time Corypheus and his cohort stormed its doors, they unleashed the Blight upon the world. This time, perhaps he might indeed gain untold power, becoming something unto a god. It is also possible he could unleash something far worse than the Blights. So yes, Corypheus could succeed in his goal. If not, his attempt alone could destroy the world.
Corypheus says I'm a rival. Does that mean...
Could you become a god? That depends. Are you prepared to use your anchor to enter the Black City?
No, never.
Tell Corypheus that, and see if he believes you.
However you can help, it's appreciated.
Continue prodding at Corypheus, Inquisitor. elicit a reaction, and we may yet learn from it.
I'll leave you to the garden.
Of course.
I hope it helps.
A proper mage tower. Every castle needs one.